People say that money is the root of all evil, and there's definitely a point there. One of the most misunderstood and underestimated properties of money is that it is a system of control. Those who have authority to distribute money have the opportunity to cut human beings off from resources. That's right. The way the world is set up now, whoever is in control of the money supply is in control of the people. I'm going to talk to you today about how money is used as a form of control and the financial police state that the world is slowly turning into in front of our very eyes. Let's get it. BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap gets you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.io. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Every day I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money and crypto, then make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to learn more about crypto trading, make sure to check out the BitBoy Lab on Discord for direct access to professional coaching and trading tips. Now, also make sure, guys, in the URL that your browser says HTTPS instead of HTTP. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about the 4 main properties of money and how it's used as a system of control. If you've been paying attention to the news lately, then you have seen that there is a lot of control up for grabs right now. Giant tech monopolies, the divisive media, and a polarized America have led to an uneasy political and social climate. But could Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and blockchain lead us back into the light so we can all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, with consent only, of course? Anyone in the Bit Squad that's been watching this channel for a long time knows I'm a big fan of Andreas Antonopoulos. In one of his videos in which he spoke to a room full of attorneys about the future of money, Andreas talked about how money has 4 distinct properties. However, in true Andreas fashion, he talked about how one of those properties of money makes the other 3 properties subordinate. What exactly are those properties? Those properties include that money is a system of accounting. In other words, money measures how many cans of Mountain Dew Tommy bought down at the store. If he used $10, then that would account for 5 cans of Mountain Dew. The second property is that money is a store of value, which is something we obviously have been talking a lot about on this channel. So if I sell my house and receive cash for the sale, the money that I receive should theoretically hold that value. The third property of money is that it's used as a medium of exchange. If I want to hire an audio team to help me with a podcast, we can pay them using money that they would accept as a fair value for their services. Now, there's one other we'll get to in a minute, but these common sense properties of money have been around for thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years. From 2-ton limestones carried on canoes by ancient navigators to the island of Yap, to the scarcity of Bitcoin, these properties are expectations that an individual can have when they call something money. However, not all money in today's day and age has every one of these properties. Sometimes, money in the modern sense falls short of one or several of those values, especially the store of value principle. As we talk about in our video on global reserve currencies, debasing refers to the lowering of the value of the money that you're holding on to. That is the case with any global reserve currency as inflation begins. As we talked about in the video, most of the time the global reserve currency power starts to decline, and then they undergo a series of wars on both individual liberties and the nation. Meanwhile, the government continues spending whatever resources it has left, both currency and privately held assets. Meanwhile, the citizens are typically charged exorbitant taxes, to which they seem very little of in return. $600 bribe is a stimulus check. These are all tried and true signs that money is being used as a form of abuse and control. We've seen this time and time again over the last several hundred years, from the start of the age of exploration with Portugal having the global reserve currency all the way until present day. Yes, money is used as a system of power and control. So here's how they use it as a system of control and how all the other properties become subordinate. This system uses money as a political tool to control who has access to financial markets and who doesn't. It aims to have complete surveillance of all money movements worldwide. Money as a form of control has all the elements and signs of totalitarianism. Banks have all the power that they want. A police officer can confiscate your money. A judge can sign a warrant to freeze your account. But a bank can do both of those things without any authorization from anyone, and there is nothing you can do about it. I know because this actually happened to us just last week. This applies also to banks all over the world. If you don't act in the best interest of the United States, you lose your SWIFT code. You get cut off from the financial system. 50 years ago, we saw some of the biggest changes ever in the world to money. In the 1970s, the currency was detached from gold and financial services, and they were turned into a form of law enforcement. Beyond due process and control, if you cannot get access to your bank account, how can you get food or water for your family? While being a hunter and gatherer might be possible in some places, if you're living in downtown Manhattan, you're not going to be out there hunting pigeons with a bow and arrow and a feathered cap like Robin Hood. No, we need money to buy our goods. It's not year one. But this story of money as a system of control can also have a really bad ending too if the government continues to recklessly spend like it does, which it probably will. That's the system we live in. It goes to show you that without money, we'd have very little. This just doesn't apply, though, to people in the first world. It applies to entire cities, countries, and regions across the world and on every continent. For example, a country like North Korea could be blacklisted from trading with certain countries. Whether or not you agree with it, and obviously we don't support communist dictatorships with terrorist propensities, but regardless of if you support it or not, the fact of the matter is that these people are getting cut off from a source of funding. That would be like if the United States had to stop trading with Germany. Where would we get our Mercedes-Benz from if you're into that kind of thing? But a globalized economy requires complex, interdependent trade relationships to continue to operate effectively, and access to money is a large determinant of a functioning global economy success. When countries and individuals can be left out of the global economy, there needs to be a careful system of checks and balances to ensure that it is for a good reason. After all, the influx of money into a country is not to be understated. It's everything. Unfortunately, once that element of control is instilled with money, it's hard to reverse that path. Greed and corruption infiltrate processes that require dignity. When money is used as a form of control, corruption gives rise to things like inflation, reckless spending, and bad accounting sheets. That's where human effort falls short, and computers with incentive-based, trustless algorithms have the opportunity to usher in a new age of human existence. Consensus algorithms are our opportunity to fight against corruption. Currently, the system of money controls us and the financial regulators oppress us. They get access to the best deals and leave the rest of us out. For example, look at accredited investors. Those people are the top 1% of the 1% of rich people in the whole world. They get access to investment opportunities that the rest of us could only dream about. If you have a lot of money, you have access to 100% ultimate freedom. We are saying that with enough money, you become an elite with total immunity. There are people every single day who get away with manipulating and spoofing the gold market. But the people who have the ultimate power are the bankers and those that can cut off an entire country's money supply. The financial services industry has become the enforcers, and they get the perks. It's like being a CVS Rewards member, but instead of the arm's length of coupons you get for stuff you don't need, a perk for financial regulators is that they get away with whatever they want. Of course, there are the Bernie Madoffs who almost made off, but even he still got caught and wound up in jail. Corruption breeds economic inclusion. Not playing by the rules means countries are being cut off from finance. If you don't do what the USA wants, you lose the SWIFT code and hence your international banking, the reserve currency, and global trade lifeblood. This complicates competition. Now, I'll be honest with you here. Our current system will be demolished in less than a decade, if not much sooner, in my opinion. Continuing to give the government more power can only result in a continued loss of freedom. The key to all of this is money. If the people once again take control of money, then we get to make the rules, not have them handed down to us poor lowly servants of the government. I'm old enough to remember when the government used to work for us, not the other way around. Things are changing quickly. How will the financial police state of the world continue to get worse? Make sure to drop those comments down below. What do you think money will look like in 5, 10, or 20 years? Also drop those comments. Make sure to smash the like button before you guys leave. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.